Holy. So Donald Trump, the current president of the world, has imposed a tariff on any film productions being produced outside the United States. Do you know how much is the tariff rate? It's not 10% or 25%. It's 100%. You pump those numbers up. This is like one of the minor signs of the day of judgment, like Trump's tariffs. So I'm gonna quickly talk to you about the inevitable effect on the film industry on some major countries, that be including mine, which is Indonesia. But first, let's get into the technicality on how tariffs work. That means we have to go back to our sweet childhood memories. Math. Do I miss her? A tariff is a tax imposed by a country on imported goods and services. It's essentially an extra cost added to foreign products. Let's say an imported product is cost $2,000 and imposed with a 15% tariff rate. Then in order to count the total amount, you put import value times tariff rate percentage divided by 100, which means the extra cost would be $300, so $2,000 plus $300 would be $2,300. Now imagine an actual movie that was filmed in Southeast Asia. The creator. The total budget for this movie is $80 million, so $80 million plus import value and insurance. Now slap that thing with 100% tariffs. 100 divided by 100 is 1. If an import value times 1, that value is the tariff cost plus the import value. Yeah, I'm gonna let you sit here. And here's the water, you seem panicked. Don't forget to say Bismillah. We all know the famous tweet that blew up the world second after the slap, in which Trump claimed that the movie industry in America is dying a very fast death. Which is okay, very understandable. I don't get it, I don't want to talk about economic bullshit and so forth. Basically, his reasoning is that most Hollywood productions were filmed outside the United States because the cost is cheaper. Which is true, but that equates to Hollywood losing economic leverages is just nonsense. Like almost every single superhero movies at least have made billions of dollars in box office, which could automatically be taxed by the government to make profits. Profits so big that every single year, the United States has given like over $8 billion to Israel. Although that might get overturned because of a certain case that makes my room go up to 60 degrees Celsius. Now let's get into what will happen to these countries. China. In accordance to Wall Street Journal, China would be fine with the tariff, as proven with its recent box office success, Ninja 2, that became the world's highest grossing movie in the world. Canada. From CTV News reported that Canada's situation would be the exact opposite of China because its film industry heavily relies on the presence of American filmmakers. Now with the tariffs, the filmmakers would probably turn the other way and goes back filming in the US because it has become the cheaper alternatives. Europe. The case for Europe is much more concerning. Politico.eu reported that the EU would suffer the same consequence like Canada, but with the addition of divestments of the streaming services, though French President Macron would begin a new investment sector in the cost of 20 billion euros. United Kingdom and Ireland. Inside the UK Parliament, there's a conversation stated that the tariffs could possibly plunder the British film industry, leading to job losses and decreased investment. At the time, the UK government has tried its best to emphasize the mutual benefits of the deep ties between the United States and UK film industries and expressing commitment to protecting the sector. Unfortunately, Ireland also tipped in the same faith. India, just like Canada, relies on US help, specifically its distributors, since most Bollywood films made a lot of profits because of American admissions, though it is quite unlikely that the entire Bollywood industry would sink into the trends in the long term. Japan's entertainment industry is divided by two types: productions that heavily relies on US-based producer or distributors, and productions that doesn't. Usually anime movies being produced and then license out the distribution rights to overseas partners like Sony Pictures, Crunchyroll, and J-Kids. Obviously, if the tariffs were to happen, then those productions that uses American distributors would make heavy loss. But that doesn't mean Japan's economy automatically gets plundered, as some of its leading entertainment companies could hire American production house to do the work for them so that they don't have to be charged. Indonesia doesn't seem to have much of a problem because of growing love towards local films by local audiences that has exceeded imported films. So more or less, Indonesia possibly could lead its own film industry just like China. Verdict-wise, I really have no further comment on this because first, the story is still in development, the tariffs is still on hold and it's not certain. Second, like the tariffs on foreign movies hasn't affected much in my country, Indonesia, and I'm a narcissist. So if you're a foreigner suffering from the tariffs, well, I'm sorry little one. Not my land, not my problem. On a serious note, I wanted to read this part from the Anime News Network that says, tariffs were never intended to be used against services or intellectual property. The USA operates one of the largest service-based economies on Earth. If America's international trade partners define these proposed tariffs as a tariff on services and IP, things could become very messy. The Berman Amendment deliberately exempts books, records, films, and any type of media that stores and transports IP, either physically or digitally. Movies are a service, and the purpose of the Berman Amendment is to protect what has become the larger service industry sector of the economy that contributes over 74% of GDP annually, and it employs more American workers than the manufacturing sector. If the new front in the trade war were to open up the service sector, we could see retaliatory tariffs levied on all manner of companies, including medical imaging firms, software and information technology companies, and American consulting firms like Bain & Company, McKinsey & Company, and Boston Consulting Group. This is one of the fastest growing sectors of the economy, generating over 59 billion US dollars in 2024 and is estimated to generate over 82.8 billion dollars by 2029. I hope that cooler heads will prevail and that film and media status as exempt services will preclude any decision to impose economic sanctions on film and television content that is produced outside of the United States. I hope that those companies I have mentioned above continue to hope for the best and plan for the worst. Make no mistake, the amount of uncertainty and nervousness these announcements create will only mean bad things for the future planning and investment in project make anime. Okay, no, I'm not gonna say that. I love how this masterpiece was written in an anime website, and while skimming through this article, there's like promos of other articles on the right side, and one of them is about Rock is a lady's modesty.